After studying and working with over 100 e-commerce brands, I've learned that scaling to 8 figures isn't about finding the right ad, finding the right influencers, choosing the right Shopify theme, or having the right branding. Instead, the brands that win simply find the 1 or 2 leverage points that actually move the needle, and they focus on those relentlessly. The kind of changes that can 2x or even 3x your business without spending more on ads or working harder. So if you're already at 7 figures right now and you want to think about how to 10x that, this video is for you, because I'm going to break down the exact playbook we use to take Turtle Travel from 7 figures to 8 figures. What we did to take Neat Apparel from an idea to 6 figures per month, and we'll show you how to apply that to your business. So let's get into it. So the first thing you need to do is get the product right. If not, nothing else matters. You could have the best ad team, the best website, the best offer, but if the product doesn't deliver, you're just burning money, pushing people to something that they don't want and won't add value. So start with who you're selling to. It's important to try not to be everything to everyone, because when you do, you end up appealing to no one. This is really hard advice to take, but it is crucial, especially as you're setting the foundation for getting early adopters. What I've learned analyzing 100 plus brands is that the smaller the focus, the bigger the opportunity. So pick one thing. It could be a lifestyle, a profession, and own it. You want people who actually care about the problem you solve and are willing to pay for it. Find them and obsess over them, because everything else, the product, the messaging, the offer, it's all centered around this one decision. So when you pick this specific group, you can speak directly to them in their language and talk about the problem that is unique to them. When you do this, your ads get cheaper because you're not competing with everyone. Your messaging hits harder because it sounds like you're talking to them like a friend and you're not just blasting the whole internet. For example, Bala Nursing Shoes. They're a company that just focuses on nursing professionals, no one else. And because of that, they did 1.5 million in 72 hours of their launch. Okay, now that you understand your persona, you need to figure out what problem they actually have that you solve. If people aren't already searching for a fix or wanting to throw money at this problem, you might not be going after the right thing. You want something that's already frustrating them, something they're searching for and they're spending money to try and fix. That's the difference between selling a vitamin, which is a nice to have, or a painkiller, which is a must have. We want to build and sell painkillers. For example, Spanx is now $1 billion product in the shapewear company. They didn't start with a full product line. The founder, Sarah Blakely, simply started by solving a very simple but big and insecure problem: visible panty lines under white pants. That's it. That got her to 8 figures. One problem, one solution, and it worked because women were already frustrated by this, and she finally made the best solution for this very niche problem. All right, so now that you know the persona and the problem, then you also want to make sure your solution is actually different. And now this is key. You don't have to be better. You just have to be different. Find that one thing that makes people say, oh, wow, I've never seen that before. Oh, you guys do it so differently. This could be simple, actually. It could be a feature no one else offers, a specific angle to a problem, or a format that doesn't already exist. You don't need to reinvent the wheel here. All you need to do is find one simple wedge that gets you in the door, that makes you different in the eyes of the customer. Like Allbirds, there's a bazillion shoe companies out there. They weren't trying to make a better shoe that's high performance to Brooks or Nike. They want to make something that's simple, different, more comfortable. And so they made their wool runner. Nobody else was making shoes out of wool until they did. And finally, focus on your one core flagship product. Ideally, a product that would give you product channel fit, especially if you're trying to do paid ads on social. This is where a lot of people get tripped up. They try to launch a huge brand, a huge catalog. People don't fall in love with your brand at first. They fall in love with the product. So don't spread yourself too thin trying to create the next Red Bull. Find your hero product, ideally one that has great word of mouth, one that speaks for the brand, and one that ideally has some demonstration around it. So it's easy to show people why it's better, why it's different. And then you can expand. For example, Girlfriend Collective is an activewear brand focused on women's products, sustainability, athleisure. But when they launched, they didn't launch with that. They launched with their simple leggings. They gave away 10,000 pairs in the early days because that was their flagship product that had the best way to extremely demonstrate the offer that they have. They expanded later, but they started with one product and that got them to 8 figures. Quick thing before we keep going. If you're watching this and you've already got a product that you're selling, but you're feeling kind of stuck and you're not sure where to focus to scale to go to the next level, you can click the link in the description and book a free call where we can help you figure out what's actually helping with growth, what's holding you back, figure out what's blocking growth, and see if we could help. Okay, let's get back to the video. All right, next, you need to know if this thing can actually make money if you scale. That's the difference between a business that grows and one that just bleeds cash as it gets bigger. So there are 4 key things you're looking for in your business model. The first is your average order value. If you're selling a $15 beauty product, man, you're gonna need a lot of volume to make that math work and for it to be profitable. The higher your average order value, the more money you can spend to acquire customers profitably. Okay, second is a strong repeat purchase rate. If someone buys once and never comes back again, man, you're on the acquisition treadmill and you better have really good margins and a high average order value. And you're always hunting for new customers. And guess what? It gets harder. But if they come back 2, 3, 4 times to buy again and again, then their lifetime value goes up. Your email becomes a gold mine and you pay once to acquire them, and then you get more and more profitable over their lifetime. The third thing is a low return rate, ideally under 10%. Returns can kill your margins and kill your business. So for example, some tough categories are shoes, which naturally have a 30% return rate, or women's fashion, especially gowns, could be up to 40 or 50%. So really know what's the average in your industry and what's average for your business. Okay, fourth, simplicity scales, simple SKUs. The more colors, styles, variations that you add, the more complexity you're adding to your operational overhead, and that impacts your ability to scale. So keep it simple, especially early on. You're going to be tempted to diversify to new categories and product lines, but invert that and ask yourself, have you fully scaled the existing product line? Now, you don't need to be perfect with all of these. You don't have to have all 4, but you want to have most of these working in your favor. And if you can also add on subscriptions or bulk buying, that's even better, because recurring revenue is the holy grail of scaling and having predictable revenue. This is why subscription brands like Billy's or Dollar Shave Club do extremely well, or even Bombas, where you're constantly loading up on socks. That way they're not having to chase new customers every month. They have revenue that they can count on from existing customers. And the business model is only half of it. You need to know your numbers as well. This is where so many people mess up. They start pouring money into ads before they even know if the math works. I know it's tempting. We want to scale, throw money into Facebook, but you can't scale what you don't measure. You need to know your profit margins. You need to know your average order value, what it costs to acquire a customer. When is it profitable? When is it not profitable? You also need to know how long it takes to get your money back and what your return rate looks like. Because if you don't know your numbers, you're flying blind. And those assumptions can really hurt you when you see your true return rate, you see your true cost of product. As a general rule of thumb, your customer lifetime value should be 3 times what it costs you to acquire that customer. Otherwise, you might not be able to scale profitably. The hard truth is, if your economics don't work when you're small, they're probably not going to work when you're bigger, and you'll just lose money faster. Before you spend $1 on ads, you need to make sure you have a website that's built to convert. A lot of brands waste money here because they want to jump straight to traffic, or they make this pretty website, but it's not designed with conversion rate optimization in mind. And that's where you do not want to make this classic mistake. Make a site that speaks to your customers. Let me show a quick example. So you want to start with the basics, right? So when someone lands on your homepage, can they understand simply what this is, why they should do it, why they should do it with you, and why should they do it now? In other words, confusion equals no conversion. So don't be too clever, don't be too cute, be very direct in what you do. They need to understand within 5 seconds. So example with Neat, it's very clear. This is a men's t-shirt, but unlike regular tees, it hides sweat, no pit stains, no back sweat. And they're anchoring against normal shirts telling you to make this switch. And they're doing it with extreme demonstration, showing the water balloon test. So again, within 15 seconds, you understand this product. So hopefully you can start to make a buying decision. And then as you go to a product detail page, this is where you really need to start to, again, be clear, but also address any points of friction or objection, which could be price, value, or quality. And then another component is you've got to create urgency. You don't want people to be like, oh, cool product, maybe I'll buy it another time. Give them a reason to act now. So with this product, again, it's not a cheap shirt, it's almost $50. So we really have to speak to the value. We have assets that show the tech guidelines of the shirt. There's also assets that show the engineering that went behind it. There's a comparison table, lots of social proof, and they even have user-generated content right below the buy button, so you really can see the value of the shirt that has this sweat hiding technology. Also, look at this. Warning, this shirt will sell out again and again. We know that this brand has sold out 5 times. They turn that into a marketing moment. That way, they're training you to hopefully buy fast and act fast, and maybe even bulk buy. The other big component here is the checkout. Every extra step you add creates a layer of complexity and more drop-off. So keep it simple, make it native, make it right there. Also, these are great opportunities for more incentives on why they should buy and why they should buy in a way where they increase the average order value. With Neat, as you increase your cart, you get free shipping, you even get a free t-shirt. So this is something, all these little things add up to make you black belt with your conversion rate. So after you optimize the site, you also need to have an offer that makes the buyer basically say, this is so good, I feel dumb saying no. A good product isn't enough. You need to create that urgency. So you do this by honestly make them feel dumb for not saying yes. So first, remove any risk. You can do that with a guarantee. You can do that with a trial. You can do that with risk reversal. That way, if they're not happy, no questions asked, give them their money back. You'll even pay for shipping. Second, add value. Throw in a bonus. Could it be a product? Could it be a digital product? Could it be early access to something that makes them feel like they're getting a really good deal, but actually doesn't cost you that much to deliver? Third, make it obvious. A bundle that increases the average order value while feeling like a great deal for them. And a launch price that might go up later, where only the first 100 or 500 people get access to this price. Give them a reason to act now. That way, if someone sees your offer, they don't even have to think about like, oh, I've got to act on it right now. And so some fun examples of that, Curology, when they were launching, they gave away a free personalized skin product on the first month. And then the second month, you start paying. All the value is done up front, so it's zero risk to the customer. That's what a good no-brainer offer looks like, but it has to work with your business model. All right, so now your site is set up to convert. You've got an offer dialed in. You're ready to drive traffic. I highly recommend starting with Meta, Facebook and Instagram ads first. Most people aren't searching for your product because they don't know you exist yet. And you don't want to go to a platform where you might compete on price. You need more storytelling. So you need to get in front of them, and Meta is the best place to do that. You should use real customer content, not polished brand ads. And if you can do extreme demonstration to show rather than tell the value or the transformation of the problem you solve, lean into that. From what I've seen, user-generated content outperforms the professionally done stuff, and it feels much more native to the platform and gets better impressions and click-through rates. I highly recommend doing dynamic creative testing where you're creating different creative, different copy that is calling out the persona within that messaging. And then you do a broad audience. Why? Lookalikes haven't been updated in 6 years. Custom audiences haven't been updated in a really long time. The algorithm of Meta is so good that if you speak to your persona really well in the ad, they will find that customer for you. And again, do not set up your account to be overly complex, and make sure it's focused on the conversion event of purchases rather than clicks. Clicks mean nothing if they don't buy. So let the algorithm find your buyers, not browsers. All right, once you have your meta ads working, ideally you're spending over $100 per day, and that's scaling at 25 to 30% every 72 hours. You've got some brand awareness building. that's when you want to add in Google to get that intent-based search. This is also one of those where 1 + 1 is 3, because you can do the storytelling context ads of social and pair it with the intent-based ads of Google ads or Bing ads. Google catches people who are already looking, ideally middle to bottom of the funnel. So use it to capture demand you're creating with Meta as well. So there's 3 core things that you want to set up when you're doing Google. First is brand search. When someone hears about you on Instagram, on social, or through word of mouth, you want to make sure you do not lose them to a competitor or to somebody else. These will be cheap, it'll be a low spend, but do it to capture the low-hanging fruit and to protect your brand. The second thing you want to do is Google shopping ads. These are product images that'll show up when someone's searching when you sell. If someone's searching for wool running shoes or sweat-proof undershirts, you want to make sure your product is right there with an image, with the price, with a call to action. So it's a really flat funnel where they can go right to buy. Third is high intent keywords. These are searches where someone is looking for a solution you're browsing. This is where you can also do some storytelling with your ads to make sure you're using the language they have within their keyword search. Use that with your keywords and even your landing page copy. But Google takes time. It's not going to be instant. It's kind of a garden you need to nurture. It's also very much a data platform where as you start to get purchase conversion events on Google and you get over 50 to 100 events per week, you're going to see that it gets more efficient because it has more data to learn from to get better results. And while that's running, you want to start to set the infrastructure for organic traffic. The reality is paid ads only get more expensive, and it only works as you feed the beast and give it more money. So as every year cost per impression CPMs go up, competition increases and margins shrink, you want to diversify or plant the seeds to be able to diversify to other non-paid channels. So smart brands invest early in search engine optimization and AI-based search and overall content marketing. These are things like blog posts, YouTube, whatever fits your audience, and also the technical setup of your website so you have good content on your pages. This will take longer to kick in, but it'll work, and you'll be so happy down the road you planted the seeds to start to get organic traffic. No one can outbid you on it, and it compounds. It's the stuff you publish today that'll bring people in tomorrow and years to come. Okay, so you've got traffic coming in and people are buying. Most brands hit a wall just because they're so obsessed with new customer acquisition, they actually ignore the customers they already have. And that's a mistake because your existing customers, that's where the real profit is. Getting someone to buy again is way cheaper than finding a net new person and trying to get them to buy for the first time. Acquisition is expensive. You're paying for every new customer. But your existing customers, they already trust you. They already bought something. So getting them to buy again is almost nothing. What does that mean? That means setting up the basics around retention marketing. So your email flows, getting those going, your first purchase flow, your win back flow, your abandonment flow. Understand the natural buying cycle of when someone should buy a second, third, or fourth time and have the flows align with that. You can also train them, teach them on different use cases and applications of the product to compress that repeat purchase cycle. SMS, text message is also amazing to have set up. Don't make it a copy and paste strategy of email. Make it something new, because if you abuse it, your customers will not be happy. But if you make something new, for example, a wine brand used it to have a sommelier on call. Skincare brand used it to have a dermatologist on a text message. And then third, a loyalty program. This way you really reward people for repeat purchases, for big buys. That should be a part of your model. And don't overlook customer service. This is not an expense. This is an investment in marketing because it's essentially marketing in disguise. Every complaint is a chance to create a lifetime fan of your brand. Most brands treat customer service as a cost center that they're trying to minimize the expense, but the way you handle problems is how people remember you. Those are those marketing moments that they'll tell their friends about. So you should respond fast, actually solve the issue, make people feel heard, and go a little bit farther than what they expected. Warby Parker is a massive brand, but in the early days, they would would respond with personalized YouTube videos talking to new customers on how to use it. That is something that really made people fall in love with the brand. It might not be scalable, but it's memorable. And those customers create more customers with word of mouth. So if you're selling something people want to buy again and again, your support experience is your retention strategy. Get it right and they'll come back. Get it wrong and they'll tell everybody. I equate it to a restaurant. If they mess up your order, how did they treat you? Did they take forever? Did they give you something that still wasn't great? Or did they apologize, give you a free dish, give you free dessert, give you free champagne? Those experiences really last. Now, once you have those happy customers, make it easy for them to spread the word. There's no better time to ask for the referral than when they are the happiest. And referrals are the cheapest acquisition channel out there. It's where your customers pay you to then market your product. But it only works if these two things are true. One, product is actually worth talking about. And two, there's a clear reason to share. So again, when should you do that? Usually in the post-purchase flow after they've received the product and it's delivered on the promise you had. That's when they're the most excited to tell somebody. And so you could experiment with one, just ask them to do that, or two, give them an incentive. Is it a discount, a free product, early access, and make it frictionless. Give them a link. Have it pre-filled out. Make it one simple share button. Make it dead simple that it only takes a few seconds to understand. No one's going to go out of their way, unfortunately, because everyone's busy. This is where a strong brand actually starts to matter. Remember earlier when I said people fall in love with the product first, not the brand? That is true. But once they've bought the product, once they had a good experience, brand is what keeps them coming back and turns them into true fans to do that second, third, and fourth purchase. So think about what you stand for beyond that core problem you solve with the flagship product. Is there a point of view? Is there a status quo that you're pushing against? Is there a mission that's bigger than just selling stuff? And build community around it. Your brand is how your customers and community talk about what you do. Your best customers want to feel that they're a part of something that they can share with others. So give them a place to connect. I've seen brands do this simply on a Facebook group or a Discord, or just really engage on social through Instagram DMs and chats. A loyal community will shape your future products. It could be a VIP early access list that you can have conversations with to understand the colors, the styles, the categories that they want next. They can also help you hype up launches and make your brand feel way more than a company and something that has great value and helps with your enterprise value if you ever want to sell. All right, so you've got customers coming in, they're sticking around, they're telling their friends. The last piece is, how do you grow this in the most efficient way possible? First, we want to stop dropping products and start launching them. Most brands just add a product to their site, post about it once, and hope people notice. That's a drop, and products end up just sitting there. A launch is much different. That's where you back into how well this product's going to do, where you start talking about it 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time. You're teasing what's coming. You're showing behind the scenes. You're building anticipation. You're collecting emails from people who want to know when it's live. Then on launch day, you've got a list of people that have opted in to wanting to know that it exists. You send the email, you run the ads, you do the follow-up campaign through SMS, all at once. Everyone hears about it at the same time. It creates momentum. It creates a thunderclap. And you give people reason to buy now rather than later. This could be like, hey, we've sold out 5 times. We're going to sell again. It's early access just for first-time customers, just for 48 hours. Or we have a price that we're going to have for the launch that only lasts for a week. A drop trickles in sales, whereas a launch propels sales and helps you hit goals. And this allows you to start to hit revenue goals and be predictable in what your revenue is going to be each month. Now, the other big thing is to create a growth calendar so you can actually calendar out your revenue and your growth. Without one, you just are doing a launch, it goes kind of well, you take a breath, they're like, oh, what do we do next? You're just grasping at different ideas. So you don't want to scramble. You don't want to throw together these last minute ideas and then try and do it again. The best brands don't do that. They know what's coming because they built their calendar. So what does that mean? That means you need to calendar out a reason why people should care you exist every 2 to 3 weeks. You have your always on channels that you're calendaring, like, oh, we're always promoting our flagship products for new customer acquisition. But then we're calendaring out marketing moments. How often can you launch a new product? How often can you do a publicity stunt, do a podcast tour? How often can you do some sort of viral campaign? How often do you want to do discounts and promos? So ask yourself, what are those big launches? What are those small moments that you can create in between? When are those dead zones? Maybe it's Q1 that's a little tricky where you need to get creative. This doesn't have to be complicated. It's just a simple calendar that simply tells you what's happening and when. This alone puts you ahead of most brands that are in reactive mode, whereas this puts you in proactive mode. Now, finally, you want to build a machine that can run without you, so you're not the one holding it together. Right now, ask yourself, where are you the bottleneck? Are you the one making decisions, approving ads, fixing website issues, deciding on the next campaign, the next color to do? That doesn't scale. Look at the 5 things that we talked about. Let's see, your offer, your traffic, your website, your retention, your launch calendar. And for each one, ask yourself, could this run for 2 weeks without me touching it? If the answer is no, you need to either document it, automate it, or hand it off to someone else with the right SOPs. Get your email flows running automatically. Get your ads managed by someone who knows what they're doing, and systematize your own process and build templates for your launches so you're not reinventing the wheel every time. AI is an amazing tool to be able to help you create SOPs so you can delegate and elevate other people. Now, the goal isn't to remove yourself completely. The goal is to get you out of the day-to-day, to get you out of firefighter mode. That way you can focus on the more strategic things that really move the needle, those big leverage points within your business. Now, if you're like, Jim, this is great, I'd love to scale to 8 figures, but I've hit a plateau and I don't know where to start. I don't know which of these levers to pull first. That's exactly what we help founders figure out at Growth Hit. Just click the link in the description below to book a free call with our team, where we can help you diagnose what's actually holding you back, what's blocking growth, so you can get a clear roadmap to get unstuck and go towards 8 figures. We've helped dozens of e-commerce brands using our framework, and it's the same playbook every time, just applied to their unique situation and their specific phase of growth. So if you want to be next, click the link below and we can book a call, and we'll be very candid if we're right for you or not, and hope to speak with you soon.